Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV. I'm your host, QueenAShakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, so let's get ready to get into it. Everyone, please go ahead and give the video a like and a share if you could be so kind. All right, shout out to Kenya, Nessie, Lee Harv, Ayon, Silent D, Amatula, Cherie, Shots on Target, Vince I am from the UK. All right, so let's get into it. Irving, Courtney, Millie, Jarvis, V. Multi, True Justice, Mark Ayers from the UK. All right, here we go. Now listen to this. So they say Florida could ban lessons about discrimination that make white students feel uncomfortable. This is what they say. And so a Florida bill that would prohibit public schools and private businesses from making white people feel discomfort when they are taught or trained about discrimination in the nation's past was advanced by a Senate committee on Tuesday. The bill, which echoes a call by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, was met with criticism, saying that it will spawn censorship, lawsuits, and more problems for teachers. Now, the legislation, SB 148, by Senator Manny Diaz, is said by its sponsor to protect individual freedoms. The measure will bar teaching in grades K through 12 that could make individuals feel responsible for historic wrongs because of their race, color, sex, or national origin. I find it very interesting that they want to do all of this to try to ease discomfort or divisiveness when they've never done that throughout history as it pertains to Black people having to deal with racism and a whole system of wannabe supremacy, not to mention 150 years of Jim Crow. But I digress. So anyway, at work, employment practices or training programs that would make any individual feel guilty on similar grounds could be considered an unlawful employment practice and subject a company to a lawsuit. Now, Democrats argue that the bill isn't needed, that it would lead to frivolous lawsuits and would amount to censorship in the schools. They asked what success for real-life examples of teachers or businesses telling students or employees that they are racist because of their race. Name some examples. Well, they don't have any. They're just making it all up. So they say this bill's not for Blacks. This bill was not for any other race. This was directed to make whites not feel bad about what happened years ago. Here's the part where I disagree. They're not trying to make them feel bad about what happened years ago. They're telling them the truth about what happened years ago. Another thing is these things didn't just happen years ago. These things continue to happen. Please stop acting like all of the hate, wicked savagery, racism, animalistic practices, and just all of the nefariousness stopped decades ago. Because they still do the same shites right here in 2022. Please miss me with all of it. But let me continue. Funny how the devils want to play the victims. Anyway, they go on to say, this was directed to make whites not feel bad about what happened years ago. That's what State Senator Shervin Jones, who is Black, says. She says, at no point did anyone say white people should be held responsible for what happened. But what I would ask my white counterparts is, are you an enabler of what happened? Or are you going to say we must talk about history? Now, the legislation echoes a call by DeSantis, who last month outlined his Stop Woke Act, which he said was to block wrongs to our kids and employees. Now, the new bill reads in part that an individual, by virtue of his or her race or sex, does not bear responsibility for actions committed in the past by any other members of the same race or sex. An individual should not be made to feel discomfort, guilt, anguish, or any other form of psychological distress account of their race, of his or her race. Here's the thing. Nobody said that the white people that are on earth today were responsible for what their ancestors did. Nobody said that. So that's bullshit. They're just trying to use that as a guise. At the end of the day, the real problem is they don't want people to talk about what their nefarious, low down, dirty, rotten, racist ancestors did. They don't want anybody talking about that. Because if they're teaching that that is wrong, which it is, then that would only make those feel bad that we're still doing those things today, which is most of them. So that's why they don't want you talking about it. That's why they don't want you teaching it. Nobody's holding white people today responsible for what their ancestors did. But what some people are doing, and which we all should do, is point the finger of blame and shame at them for continuing to perpetuate those same acts of nefariousness that their ancestors taught them. Because they're still doing it, okay? Please miss me with it. So they go on to say we shouldn't be teaching students, for example, in a diverse classroom that someone is automatically racist or sexist or anti-immigrant by the sheer nature of their background, Diaz told the Senate Education Committee. Nobody said that. I don't look at white people and say you're just automatically racist because you are whites, because some white people don't act like devils, but there are some that do. So the ones that act like devils and who have hatred and racism in their hearts, those are the ones I look at and call racist. Okay? Those are the ones I call racist, which is most of them, sadly. It's just the facts. But anyway, let me continue. Now, he says we cannot hit the students with that because you're from this group, you're automatically sexist or racist. The discussion has to be had for students to critically think and understand what is wrong and how we move past it or haven't moved past it. Well, we clearly haven't moved past it. That's just facts. DeSantis last year got the State Board of Education to prohibit the teaching of critical race theory in schools, where it is not currently taught, by saying that it is indoctrinating kids with faddish ideologies. Critical race theory is an academic framework that examines if and how systems and policies perpetuate racism. Now, while how widely it influences teaching is debatable, critical race theory, conservative media, and DeSantis have seized on its element to stamp it out in Florida. Diaz's legislation, however, stops short of meeting DeSantis's demand that students be allowed to sue school boards if critical race theory is taught. So anyway, they go on and on and on. I'm not going to read all this foolishness. Basically, they don't want there to be any critical race theory. How many times must we say it? We have known this and know this. They don't want to tell the truth of history. They don't want to be held accountable for their wannabe system of wannabe white supremacy and all the racist things they've done and continue to do. They don't want to be held accountable for it. They don't want you to talk about it. Just please be quiet. Everybody take a moment of silence. Everyone stop complaining about racism, subjugation, and oppression. Everyone, please, please, please stop reminding them of who they are. Okay? Please stop reminding the white folk of who they are. Because they don't want to talk about it. Even though many of them or their ancestors slaughtered black people, lynched black people, burned black people to a crisp, hung them by their necks until they were dead, and while doing so, cut off their body parts, took photographs for souvenirs, cut off body parts for trophies, still have some of their families to this day. Did you know that they have books made out of the skin of black people? Not only just books, clothing, shoes, purses, bags, jackets, you name it. You can look it up on the internet. They have all of these things. And so, funny that they have all of these things as family heirlooms. Some of them literally do. I showed you the video where the white guy himself said that they had some of that stuff in his own family, and he proceeded to show some of it. And he also said there was numerous other white people that he met online who told him the same thing. Now, I find it very interesting that they don't have a problem with any of that, but yet they have a problem for you talking about the fact that they have those things. Isn't that something? Make it all make sense. Oda says, hold on. Oda says they talk about killing natives here when Columbus came. All so crazy. Lenore says the truth will be told. They can't stop it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, they just don't want to hear the truth. They don't want you talking about the truth. And you know what's so interesting about the whole thing is they have no problem lying about our history. I mean, lying and saying that they are the original Egyptians. So what now? They have no problem lying about our history, but yet they don't want us to dare to tell the truth about theirs. I find that so interesting. Anyway, let me move on to the next story because I have another whole live to do. All right, tonight and behind schedule. So with that all being said, let's talk about these nefarious UPS workers in Kentucky. I'm going to show you the photos of the thugs because clearly that's what they are. They are, just look at them, a bunch of thugs. 7 Kentucky UPS employees are arrested for stealing over $11K in jewelry at work. I thought it was 100 and some thousand, but no, it was $11K. Okay, so they stole this stuff, engaged in organized crime after officials determined they were stealing shipments of jewelry. Wonder how they knew jewelry was in the boxes. Now, the investigator said the UPS employees were stealing Swarovski jewelry during their shifts, according to WDRB. Some of the employees would hide the jewelry while others blocked the view of the other employees. They also disposed of the empty jewelry boxes to avoid being caught. Now, police said the thefts were ultimately caught on surveillance video. How dumb could they be? Like, why would you be stealing stuff at work? Just go to work and do your job. Anyway, there had to be a series of packages that were turning up in the trash that should not have been in the trash. And more specifically, jewelry boxes with the products missing. They say we would watch on the surveillance footage that they would take a box after fidgeting around for a while, take paper, cover it with the package, and then wrap it in tape, and then throw it in the trash can underneath their desk. That's what the Louisville Metro Police Department Detective Charlie Roberts told WDRB. Now, the value of the stolen jewelry is $11,085. But police said the actual value is expected to exceed that when the investigation is over. Some of the jewelry boxes are still unaccounted for. The following UPS employees were arrested and charged with engaging in organized crime, according to WDRB. And I'm going to give you their names. Yanelis Castro, age 39. Then you had Adrianes Herrera, age 49. Alibex Galvin Herrera, age 45. Esther Gonzalez, age 31. Aliman Napoles, age 49. Leonel Ruiz Pavo, age 31. And Jose Lavin Torres, age 44. Y'all know their ethnicity by the name, so please stop playing. Now, 6 of the 7 suspects were given $10,000 cash bonds. Adrianes Herrera faces an additional charge of tampering with physical evidence. Police say that she tried to toss a piece of jewelry as she was being escorted off UPS's property by an employee. She was given a bond of $20,000, according to Fox 19. I'm going to show you the pictures of these thugs because they are just too much. Terry said, my, Spanish crooks. Paris said, sounds like they were splitting money. They know. I have a friend that works at the post office, and she said they be taking weed and stuff at work. They be knowing what's in those boxes. Clearly nefarious. Here they go. Look at them. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm sure glad they're not black. They love to paint black people at the face of crimes. Meta Simplico said they bring their criminal activities here. Of course they do, right? And they get paid to do so, apparently. Anyway, with that all being said, Kathy Jones said, mainstream media, do you hear this? Okay, so nefarious. Anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning Blaque in once again. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'm going to be immediately on the original Queen QueenAShakur channel for the next live. We're going to be talking about Selena, the singer. You know, the woman that killed her, Yolanda Saldivar. Yeah, so the tape has been leaked. The 911 tape has been leaked. So I'm going to be playing that footage. And then also, someone sent me a lovely video of Tommy Sotomayor. back in the day. It's an exercise video. So I'm going to show that to you all because I know you're just going to love to see it, okay? With that all being said, please like and share. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur, and on Instagram, follow the Queen Shakur fan page. You can find me on Twitter at DGoddess27.